Oh, is this Ian Garry versus Geoff Neal?
It is.
Yeah. So this is going to be another fight where my heart and my desires want the outcome to be vastly different than what I know, unfortunately, the reality is going to be. So Geoff Neal and Ian Garry. I'm not even going to rag on Ian Garry anymore. The guy's a victim. I'm just going to get to the facts. Ian Garry, the problem with Ian Garry is in all of his fights I watched last time, I studied for him and we prepared for him when he was supposed to fight Luque,
Yep.
which he pulled out of, and then proceeded to take a picture of him crying on like the doctor's examination table and your local medical clinic, probably while getting a gonorrhea exam because of his wife. Anyway, so Ian Garry was basically in a lot of the footage I was studying of his, very much getting pressured against the fence by almost everybody he fought. It was very easy to back him up against the cage and put him in a position where he was limited in the height and reach advantage that he usually carries in his fights and limited in his ability to throw like his high kick that he favors. He's got a really nice high kick that he throws, really nice right straight that he throws, things of that nature. So people have tried to game plan for him accordingly to take those things away from him. They have tried to pressure him, which is always good, especially for a guy that does throw as many head kicks and just various kicks in general as he throws. You definitely want to crowd the kicker and try to deny him as much space as possible. But to his credit, Ian Garry was also really adept at finding ways to safely circle out and get off the cage and reestablish his distance, reestablish his range, his jab, and all those tools that work for him. And thus far, he's been successful. I will also give him credit and say that in his last fight with Neil Magny, I also started to show signs of him evolving and him being the guy doing the pressuring instead of getting pressured. Now, if only he could apply some of these same principles to his bedroom and his marriage, maybe he'd have a little bit better life. But I digress. The point is, Geoff Neal is a very formidable test for Ian Garry. I will say that. This is going to be one of his toughest tests and his biggest challenge to date. And Geoff Neal, not that long ago, gave Shavkat Rachmanov, a guy we're very high on this show, one hell of a fight. He really took it to Shavkat and gave Shavkat his biggest test to date and very narrowly lost by rear naked choke, I believe, in the third round of the 3 round fight. So this is a tough one. Geoff Neal was also kind of a dark horse of the division for a long time, a guy I was really, really high on personally. Guys like Jack Slack were very high on him for a while, etc. A guy very highly touted for a while in the division that unfortunately I don't really know how or why he fell off the face of the earth and kind of lost a lot of those skills and that talent and etc. But he did, and it's unfortunate. So I don't know. It's tough. And another thing is Geoff Neal is a southpaw, which might make things interesting, add a different dynamic to it. And he does have some power, and he does also make really good use of the southpaw double, where he will start jabbing you with his right hand, the jab hand for a southpaw, and then you'll anticipate the jab and you'll get kind of fixated on that. And then when you're not looking for it, he'll throw up like the right high kick, like that same side high kick. And then you'll get knocked out or you'll get stunned. And then you have to worry about two things coming at you, either the right hand jab or the right high kick. And it just kind of overwhelms you. And that's how he ended up knocking out Frank Camacho. So that could potentially pose a wrinkle in the game to Ian Garry. But another thing that makes me lean towards Ian Garry in this is just like Shavkat managed to eventually kind of take advantage of clinch situations with Geoff Neal. I think Ian Garry's definitely going to take advantage of clinch situations with Geoff Neal, just like Shavkat did, because Ian Garry, it's already a core game plan of his to clinch a lot. and to use that length to his advantage in the clinch situation and the height that he has to just kind of wear on guys and just lay on them and kind of pressure them, especially since he added that element to his game after the Magny fight. So I don't think Geoff Neal is really going to find any respite in the clinch. If he tries it, I think Ian Garry's going to have the advantage there. I think overall Ian Garry's going to have the striking advantage. I don't think either one of them's going to grapple. The extent of their grappling will be cage work because of the clinch, but I don't really think that it's going to result in any meaningful takedowns or trips or anything of that nature. So overall, it's tough. And once again, my heart and everything in me wants Geoff Neal to win and Geoff Neal to make this a dogfight, especially after the whole Ian Garry wearing the mugshot bull crap that he's pulling, being like a dollar store Conor McGregor. But I just think Ian Garry does have, to his credit, I hate the guy, but I can't deny what I see in front of me. He does have some talent. He does seem to be actively evolving. He does seem to be ascending. Geoff Neal, unfortunately, is descending and declining. So, yeah, I'm going to pick Ian Garry on this. Minus 230, he's not giving you a good money line. Plus 190 for Geoff Neal looks tantalizing, but as I said, I feel like it's a setup. I do like how Garry by KO, TKO, DQ is a plus 250. So that'll take the edge off the money line. I do think this is a fight where he can get the KO, TKO. Subs plus 800, that's tantalizing. I don't think he's going to get a sub. Don't foresee, as I said, grappling playing much role in this fight. Plus 140 by decision is not bad either. It is a three 5-minute rounds, so 15-minute fight. Neal is tough, but he did get choked out by Shavkat late in the third. I'm still going to go Garry by KO, TKO just because you get a better value. I get decisions safer. But I'm gonna. This is a fight where I'm willing to take a little bit more risk on. And once again, since this is a guy I doesn't like, that should tell you a lot that I am still betting on him for KO TKO. So Garry to take the edge off by KO TKO at plus 250 right now on DraftKings. That's where I'm going. What about you, Ben?
Dude, I must be drinking the Kool-Aid this week. Then it might not look too hot on the end of the episode graphic, but I think we need to start using their like nicknames more too, because we got Geoff Hands of Steel Neal, and we got Ian, my wife's boyfriend, said we could order a pizza Garry. Neal, the dude, he nearly outlasted Shavkat. Like, that really impressed me, because I think Shavkat is one of the best in that whole division right now, I think. Neal, really good striking. He wants to stand, so he's going to be standing banging. We know that. Great takedown defense, too. Looking at Ian Garry, what goes great with pizza? Soda. If you go buy a 12-pack of soda, Bobby, what does that soda come in?
If I buy a 12-pack of soda, I'm a can guy personally.
You're a can guy personally. Well, isn't that interesting that Ian Garry's 13-0 and only has one real fight because he fought 12 cans? Oh, yeah. That Neil Magny was the only person he's actually fought so far. All the other ones, as far as I'm concerned, Ian Garry's going in 1-0, and I think Neil's gonna knock him the fuck out.
I hope so.
I'm gonna put it right now. Ian Garry, he's got fast kicks, but poor strike defense, and he will eat punches. He ran from Luque. Let's be honest. We did all that research. We talked about it. We ended up putting in more work for this Luque Garry fight than Ian Garry did. Dude's a punk, and he's gonna get punked in this fight. I'm gonna have Garry for KO. You can do Garry money line at plus 190. Could go to decision. Neal, if I say Garry, I apologize. Neal is plus 190 is what I have right now to win by knockout. Plus 350. Plus 350. I think Ian Garry's gonna get humbled.
You definitely get the biggest balls award for this show right now. That's for sure. I'll give you that. You got balls, kid.
Thank you, sir.
I like the way you think.
83% of people would agree with you because the money and the bets are pretty heavily on Ian Garry. It looks like Neal's got 16% of the bets, 12% of the money, so that's some sharp money coming in on Garry. But dude, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid I'm rolling with, Neil.
I don't blame you, man. I hope it happens. I just, my heart can't take much more disappointment from being a long-term MMA fan.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listen in and cash out. That's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spots from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.